and welcome to another UC&P empowerment session. We are actually at session 4 today, and we have with us yet again Dr. Udo F.Ufomadu. Dr. Ufomadu, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. So we're very excited to have you with us again. In the past, we've talked about 2 of your 5 essential habits, and today we're going to be talking about the third, effective decision making. So what can you tell us about that for our listeners who haven't read the book? What should we know about making effective decisions?
Effective decision is an essential habit. Many have asked me when they read the book why I chose it as a habit. But what most people do not realize is that habit is what we repeatedly do. Each time that you make decision that benefits you and others, my book considers that effective. And I've narrowed it to 7 steps that you have to take to become effective in your decision making. These 7 steps, I know very successful business person, a close friend of mine, multi-millionaire, that uses these steps. I know directors that use this method. I know bankers, lawyers, counselors, nurses, school superintendents, principals, teachers that will always get back with me to tell me how effective. It's simple, but it's very effective. The first thing I tell people is to make sure that you identify your concern or the issue or the problem. If you are in a group decision making, if you're part of a group decision making, don't go into vote or deciding without knowing the issue in question. So once you identify the issue, then you go to number 2. Number 2 is prayer. This number 2 buttresses Proverbs 3 verse 6 that tells us to acknowledge God in everything that we do, and He will direct our path. Once you've prayed over it, you have to go to the next step. But let me tell you one thing. Even Jesus, when He made critical decisions while He was here, for example, the Bible tells us that when He chose 12 out of His disciples, that He prayed all night. So if our God, that's an example He set for us. Once you have to, particularly people that deal with human resources or personnel, it could be choosing even a spouse. Don't take it for granted. Pray. And once you've prayed, the next step is gathering information. Gather as much as you can. Just gather as much as you can pertaining to the issue of concern. Once you gather your information, you go to the next step, which is analyzing your information. Analysis is almost synonymous with examining, thoroughly looking into your information. Don't discriminate. Look at all of them. Then, after your analysis, go to exclusion. I call it exclude the unneeded or the unwanted. Take away things that you don't need. Once you're through with that, go with keeping the wants, including the needed. It could be even excluding practices that been hindering you from making effective decisions. And keeping, it could be spending habit. If you're planning to send a child to college and you want to have enough funds to do it, you may exclude unnecessary competition with everybody and buy your needs. Then once you're through with exclusion, go to inclusion. What I call it, including needed. Once it's done carefully, your decision will be there staring at you. But what I tell people is, before you make your final decision, wait a little bit. I call it plan to unplan. Make sure that your choice is very suitable for the issue of concern. If it is not suitable, I advise my readers to plan to unplan. Don't be too proud to make changes. Adjust and make sure that you have the right decision.
That is awesome, Dr. Ufomadu, and I just want to make sure that I have them all and that everyone else has them all. So the first one is to identify concerns or issues.
Right.
Then prayer.
Yes.
Gather information.
Yes.
Analyze that information is the fourth one. The fifth one is exclude the unneeded or the unwanted. Number 6 is to include or keep the needed. And then 7 is to finally make that decision and not to be afraid to plan to unplan.
Wow. Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that I had
Yes. I'm impressed.
Awesome. And I believe that our viewers will be impressed. These are concise. And I wanted to also ask if this will work for quick decision making, or is this for decisions that need a little extra time?
Yes.
Can we generalize this skill?
Yes, you have to. If it demands for your quick decision, prayer could be, God, please help me. Because you've already identified the issue. God, please help me in this. The way you gather information in this case will go into your brain to pull what you already know. Then quickly exclude, include. Give it a second and adjust. And once the prayer comes in, Proverbs 3:6 is essential in all your ways, in everything you do. Acknowledge God. Once God, please help me. I remember when I was young, my mama would always, blood of Jesus. That's, and along that part, blood of Jesus, So you're acknowledging God, once you acknowledge, He will direct, regardless of the situation, So it works. This process, it works in quick and professional decisions. Like I said, most professionals that, call me or that read my book and want to know more, I've gotten good response from them on this.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Ufomadu, for yet another awesome session. So far, viewers, we've gone over sharing, we've gone over planning, and now we've gone over effective decision making. So I look forward to our next session. Dr. Ufomadu, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Viewers, we will see you guys next time.